Hello everyone, Anina back for Vividers. If it's noisy in the background, please forgive me. They're busy installing an inverter system. You know, we had load shedding back like last week, and this inverter has been sitting there for like 2 months. Now's the time. It needs to be installed in case we get more power cuts, which they like to just do whenever. The last power cut was apparently because they are national energy, well, ESCOM it's called. Um, they didn't pay a $500 million bill or rand bill, sorry. So it was for oil. And so they cut them off and then nobody had power. So yeah, our government is in such a shambles. It's like hard to keep a straight face most days. And especially now, I don't know who else can feel this new moon creeping up on us. That's going to be in full bloom tomorrow, and the 7 planets that are aligning in the night sky. So, yeah, I think I got it wrong the last time. We had the 6 planets aligning on the 21st of January. The 7th planet is now aligning on the 28th of February. So, very interesting time. This is only going to happen in another 15 years. So it is quite an important window. I call it a window of opportunity. And of course, the Schumann resonance yesterday was a little bit off the hook. We had a complete blackout, which means probably the measurement was too high to record on this, Schumann device or whatever you want to call it. So it was just completely off the charts. So all we could see was a blackout. So that is very interesting things happening. I'm just going to go over a couple of things very quickly because I don't have much time. I've got so much going on at the moment. But I just want to talk quickly about the Pope. I mean, they've been saying every other day, you could see the buildup of narrative that this guy is finally going to be announced as passed away very soon. Possibly already has. And actually, most of you that are watching this channel know that he is long gone. But the actor playing the Pope and this whole narrative is finally going to come to an end, which is time, right? I mean, there's so many secrets in and beneath the Vatican that will be revealed this year. I'm just saying this year because actually there's so much declass that it can't all happen at once. So you've got to remember the way the news cycles work. It can't be flooded with too many stories. Otherwise, it's going to get lost. And I know that from working in PR many years ago. Whenever we had a very important event happening and there was something else happening in the world that was big news, we could just forget whatever interviews we had scheduled got cancelled, whatever front page story we had organized gets cancelled because they have to divert immediately to the other bigger story at hand, which is like more than likely in most cases a global event. So yeah, I can see the story building. Some people reckon it's going to happen around the 4th of March. Now, also, depending on who's playing the next card with regards to announcing that the Pope's finally passed away, if it's a black hats, they're going to wait until there's a big disclosure, like maybe the Epstein list, maybe JFK files, maybe MLK. They're going to wait for a big event like that. And then they're going to flood the news channels with something else, like the Pope passing away. So it's like a very intricate little chess game going on. You know, if the white hats are controlling this completely, then we know we don't have to worry. But if it's the black hats, remember, even the black hats sometimes have actors playing certain parts. So think about Biden, what happened the last 4 years. So you have the white hats having an actor, and this guy is just bumbling and embarrassing himself. But then the black hats also had their Biden, okay? And this Biden was very coherent. As you may recall, there were different versions of this character out there. And the same thing now. So both sides can pull an actor and have that actor play out a certain narrative if they so wish. So that's what makes it so complicated. I'm just, that's just my own analysis. I can't prove that that is the case, but that's what I'm getting. So we shall see what happens. But tomorrow's going to be energetically a pretty powerful day. And let's call it a portal, perhaps a portal to again sort of establish a certain timeline. We know that this is a war of timelines. Okay. Some call it a spiritual war, but we know it's also a war of timelines. And that means it is a spiritual war because, things like fear, bad news, catastrophic events could very easily push us into a lower timeline. And this is an age-old plan that the Cabal's been using. They use us, these powerful creators of the universe, to create their dystopian timeline for them by planting narratives of fear, dread, apocalyptic events. All of these things they use for their own purposes to drive a certain timeline down, because now everyone starts focusing on that and, what if there's a pole shift? Everyone gets scared. There's a comet coming for us. It's going to crash into Earth and destroy half the planet. Fear, 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 doom, doom, gloom. And there we go. We've already created that negative timeline for them, even though it wasn't true. You can understand how intricate this war is and how important it is for us to stay positive. Now, I'm not saying bury your head in the sand or do some spiritual bypassing by not looking at the dark. This is one of the tests that we are going through right now. It's to develop a certain level of neutrality, knowing that we are much bigger than this character that we're playing here on Earth, and that we are eternal beings. So even if there is a catastrophic event, we'll be living on and we'll be loving it, to be quite honest. So don't allow anyone to pull you into doom and gloom, because then you'll be playing right into the deep state's hand. Because right now, they are pretty desperate. They are running like little rats in corners, and almost the ones that are more dangerous is what I call the middle management, because they're not the ones at the top pulling the strings, but they're the ones just below that have been put in place to run the program and to keep it in place. And often those minions don't even know that they've been employed to execute the wishes of the puppet masters, and those are the 13 families and the Octagon Group and all those organizations that are in place to control this planet. So those minions, all they know is their little work agenda and their little lives and their money and their cars and their houses and their paychecks. And so they are actually protecting that. So you can see that right now. There's already a threat in the three-letter agencies. They are saying that if Doge continues like this, they're going to be leaking very sensitive information to other countries, which might be a threat for the US. Well, first of all, that's treason. Okay. So if you want to be committing treason, well, be my guest, but they're going to catch you in the act and you will never walk free again. But those are the minions that are quite dangerous now, because they're protecting their world, their matrix, their identity, what makes them who they are, that little avatar that think, this is all I have. I'm not an eternal soul. This little character that I'm playing is all I have, and it's so important. My reputation is so important. My job is so important. My salary is so important. My holidays in the Bahamas is so important. My Porsche out in the parked in the street is so important. What people think of me is so important. And all of these things are actually BS. I know all of you know that, but they don't. So they are fighting for those things. So we are seeing just a lot of like extreme opinions and what is the word? I've just gone blank. Division out there. And I can see it even here in South Africa, because now Trump is making it into people's social media posts a lot more than he used to. And there are actually people that are saying that this guy is just like such a megalomaniac. The whole world's going to explode unless we do something about it. I had to refrain myself, from commenting this week, because I've just like had it with these idiots. But it's like, okay, just, go slow, just let it go. You don't need to, fight every single little cause. It happens, and it's not always important to, every single person that you have to prove wrong, or, it's like sometimes a battle that you're not going to win anyway. So, sometimes it's better just to leave it be. But it is still irritating and aggravating because people are just so ignorant, and these are educated people. But they and all these other wokies that are protecting their little lives and their whole identity, they are of the same ilk. Okay. And they did recently an analysis, and it turns out right now there's only 13% that still support the Democrats in the US. Like, that is a tiny percentage. That's like what? It's like under 40 million people, as opposed to 300 million on the other side. So it's a very small percentage, but it's amazing how much noise this small percentage can make. And it was Elon Musk that said, when he encountered this at a dinner party, when he just mentioned Trump's name, they all went ballistic, like they had rabies. It was like a trigger word. It's like an MK Ultra. Those victims, they normally mention like one word. And I'm sorry for the noise. I don't know if you can hear that, but yeah, this is what I'm dealing with today, all day, all day. Let me see if I can close the window just a tad. Okay, so hopefully that works. Sounds a little bit better. What was I saying? I can't remember. So yeah, anyway, Elon was at the dinner party, and suddenly they just all had this big eyes, and they like all acted like they had rabies. And this is what MK Ultra is all about. When you study that project by the C three-letter agency, still have to try and be a little bit careful here, because somebody just told me today they tried to share one of my YouTube videos on Facebook, and summarily got removed, like immediately. And then he tried like 5 times, and everything got removed, even when he posted like a different kind of link. Boom. It's like Facebook doesn't even allow him to share my YouTube videos on Facebook. So yeah, censorship is alive and well. And I also experienced it on Instagram. I got fact checked. I thought the fact checkers were fired. No, I got fact checked, and I have been several times. And it's weird because these are posts shared by other people, and they didn't get fact checked. What's going on there? I don't know. Somebody's really not liking me speaking the truth. But what can I do but speak the truth, right? I'm not going to start lying to you guys, and I'm not going to start shutting up. But anyway, so it is quite a dangerous syndrome, this rabies, TDS right now. So we've got to be careful, and we've got to be extremely patient, because we're going to see more and more of this going on, okay? Until the big reveal comes, we're going to get very polarized opinions out there all the time. And a lot of people are going to be very deranged. So breathe and, let it go. It's not always that important to pursue these things, and it just robs you of your own time and energy, and it brings your vibration down. Okay. So let's just smile and wave, and we just carry on, because these things are not important. They're just going to play themselves out now. And we just got to be, instead of being in frustration and anger and whatever it is that you're feeling, just rather spend some time on yourself. Make sure you're healthy, because it's going to be a chaotic year. So you need to be as healthy as possible, so that when the bumps in the road come, you can smooth sail through them all. So that's what I'm doing from my side. But yeah, what else is happening? I'm just going to see, so I can bring you guys a few more interesting things. Yeah. So let's just say there's things are being built up now. The narrative is being built up. You can feel the energy rising. You can feel us building towards something. It's like a little bit of franticness in the air. So yeah, like me, I'm sure you are all ready for the big D class and disclosure. Like, why is the Epstein files not coming out, right? We were promised it would be revealed, well, today. We've been promised multiple times it's coming, and somehow it's not coming yet. And somebody mentioned that, perhaps there are some victims' names that need to be scrubbed. There might be some things, I don't know. Let's just be patient, okay, and breathe before you jump to things and conclusions. Just be patient. We just see Gitmo being mentioned like every day now, so they're getting that name into the public narrative. And right now, it's all about the immigrants going to Gitmo, but pretty soon we're going to be talking about the other prisoners at Gitmo, and those are all the very high-profile prisoners. And the whole Barack Obama narrative is coming into play again. His birth certificate, his illegitimacy, or his ability to actually have been serving as the president of the US is in question. And so these little nuggets are being thrown out there. So that means something bigger is coming, okay? They're just prepping the landscape, prepping the people, building the narrative so that when the big bomb drops, it's not too shocking for people. They'll have been primed a little bit. But yeah, so there are all these stories about Gitmo now and gangs being transferred to Gitmo and other facilities and reporting from Gitmo. So all of this is super interesting for me. There's this item there, this is Gitmo and the media discussed in detail, including home development for 250,000 people and an air defense and water defense system being set up to hold and process individuals. So they're even like stepping it up now. This most secure prison probably in the world is being stepped up now. And this person said some will be put to death. Most will be long-term prison sentences. Well-vetted information will be coming from Gitmo and military locations coming to Americans soon. Social media personalities become front and center as legacy media struggles. So yeah, it's going to get interesting. We also see Bill Clinton and the Clintons coming into the public narrative now. We know that USAID sent a lot of money to the Clinton Foundation. So all of those little things are sort of being built up. We see Kash Patel, within 6 hours of him being sworn in, already had some major secret operation arrest happening. And then I just want to go to all the plane crashes. I don't have the number here right now, but it's a remarkable number of plane crashes just in the past month. I mean, it's absolutely crazy, actually. Never in the history of airplanes have we seen so many crashes. And what's more is the latest one, well, it wasn't a crash. It was apparently a bomb threat. And this is something that my friend Sarge from Icons told me. They have kind of connected those dots. There was a plane going from New York to, I've forgotten, was it Paris? Anyway, then apparently there was a bomb threat, okay, on board. So they were then accompanied by 2 fighter jets on either side, and they had to land in Rome. Now that's quite strange because the fighter jets were very close to the plane. So if there really was a bomb on board, you wouldn't keep the fighter jets that close because they will, if the plane explodes, they will explode as well. So that sounded more like somebody trying to escape. Remember, the rats are running now. They are fleeing the ship. So it sounds very feasible that that could have been one of those rats escaping. And apparently, in Rome or by the Vatican, there's an American base there. So it makes sense that they would take the plane there so that that situation can be controlled. It sounds like a very feasible story, but time will tell. I just know all these plane crashes are very, very strange. We don't quite know why it's happening, but either they're building a narrative that Boeing has been doing really bad things, because they will be investigating Boeing, that's for sure. They already have. Or maybe it's a kind of prepping the narrative that planes are no longer safe. And all this new forms of transport, part of those 6,000 patents of Nikola Tesla, etc., that have been suppressed. Maybe this could be part of that new transport systems. We know that there's currently, they're looking to build a tunnel for one of those speed trains between, I think, New York and London, which means that journey will only take 54 minutes. So, those kind of discussions are already being had to kind of prepare. So kind of, even if people don't consciously know that they've seen or read that, it goes into the subconscious and it prepares the brain and the mind to receive further information. So it's not so shocking when they finally announce that they are anti-gravity transport, portal travel, all of these things that are part of the 6,000 patents that have been suppressed for so long. Because I do believe a lot of those are going to already make itself into the public narrative, in the public space this year. But of course, all the last deep state minions have to be trapped and caught, because those are the ones that can run havoc, as in government. Imagine how many there would be. There's a lot of innocent people and good people working for government, of course, but there's also a lot of minions that are not loyal to the United States. And you know what? The United States is like a blueprint for the rest of the world. So it has to go first, because this was the center of corruption globally. So that's why the US had to be first. So yeah, it's very interesting. And I'm so excited to see what happens in the days and weeks ahead. So be ready, guys. It's just going to get more and more action-packed. It's not going to get any more quiet. I even heard something this afternoon about the Notre Dame, why it had to be burned. Obviously, we know there was a big sacrifice plan there. They opened portals and who knows what. And it was around Easter, I think. And we have that photo of Barack and Michelle Obama on a boat while the Notre Dame is burning. Okay, so they were there for that ritual. And interesting, I think this is Gene Decode. He was even analyzing Paris, the name of the city. So par means for, and or it means ISIS. So basically that city was built for ISIS, and the Notre Dame as well, in a way. So they had to clean that place out. So there's been so much cleaning up happening. The Vatican is just huge. I hope with the final announcement of the Pope's passing, that they will officially announce all of the hidden books underneath, underneath the Vatican, all of the stolen gold, all of these things that have been kept from the people for decades. Those things will have to come out. So I just think this is probably one of the most complex chess games I've ever seen. And so with that in mind, just be a little bit patient. This is taking down the cabal globally. Okay, it's not an easy task. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of curveballs as well. But we know the light is won, so that won't be put into question. Okay, only good things ahead for us. And I think things are going to get pretty interesting. That's all I can say. There's a lot of economic indicators that are certainly interesting. We had, what's that actress dressed like a black swan at the Saga Awards? What's her name? Meryl Streep. There was an article also that said Wall Street is on high alert after key economic indicators suffers sharpest drop since COVID. And then we know the crypto market lost billions and billions in the last few days. There were two events. The first one was a few days ago, and I can't remember the amount, but it was something like 4 trillion, I want to say. And then just yesterday, another 250 billion was liquidated out of the crypto market. So something weird is going on. And I just think something in the financial system and the banks is going to happen. And a lot of people are saying that XRP has already replaced the SWIFT system in the background with banks, and all of these changes have already been made in the background. Now they just have to like somehow bring down the old system, which is on the front end, so they can bring in that new system. So none of us know how that will really look, if there will still be a huge stock market crash, whether banks will close and liquidate. And I've got a feeling it might not be as dramatic as it was planned to be. It looks like they've decided that there's going to be a smoother landing than initially planned, but it's still going to be a huge disruption. So we wait and see at this stage. So I think that's all I want to share with you. I know there's going to be some things that I'm going to say, damn, I forgot to mention that, but I just can't remember what those things are right now. But suffice to say, you know, with the government and all the government departments, there are apparently a couple of thousand employees that are still getting paid, but that no longer work for government. So, you know, you're busy uncovering all these things. So when Elon is going in and saying, please, everyone has to email what they did this week, that is exactly for that purpose. Because if you don't reply to that email, you don't respond, it's possible that you're dead, right? You're not there anymore. You may have passed away. So yeah, it's just mountains of fraud that is being uncovered. And as much as some of the American people are fighting this, the wokies, when they see what's really gone on and how much money will be returned to them, it's going to be a different story. Because people don't, at the end of the day, they only care what happens, you know, in their pocket. Like when they have more money, when their life is easier, trust me, that action speaks much louder than words. So that is something that is coming. They can only ignore it, you know, for so long until they have to admit that, Trump and his administration are kicking butt. And how you can't see that, I don't know, but they're doing amazing things. They have a kick-ass cabinet, very strong, very, you know, experienced, assertive, very loyal, very patriotic. If you can't see that, then I don't know, you must be blind. DJT has just announced actually yesterday as well, investments so far, like literally in the first month. He brought in investments from Saudi Arabia to the tune of $600 billion. Apple will be investing in the next 4 years, $500 billion. A bid from Nippon Steel, $14 billion. Stargate over the next 4 years, $500 billion. And then from Hussein Sayawani, sorry, I'm struggling with this word, 20 billion. So that makes it 1.6 trillion plus in investments. Now combine that with the amount of money that's just been saved through Doge, I'd say that is pretty unbeatable. He also posted about the economy accomplishments. Signed an executive order on day one, ordering all executive departments and agencies to deliver emergency price relief to the American people and increase the prosperity of the American worker, implemented 25% tariffs on steel and aluminium imports, helping to protect the more than 1 million American jobs put at risk by a surge in steel imports from Mexico, eliminated the Biden-era electric vehicle mandate, which is such a, fraud. Crude oil prices have fallen over 5% since President Trump took office. The DOE postponed burdensome Biden-era efficiency standard rules for appliances, saving American consumers large sums. That's just on the economy. There's a lot on the border. Declared a national border emergency, allowing DOD to deploy the National Guard and active duty military to secure the southern border. Ended catch and release, ensuring detained illegal immigrants won't be released back into our streets. Reestablished Remain in Mexico and restarted the construction of the border wall, preventing illegal migrants from entering the US in the first place. Signed the Lake and Riley Act into law, ensuring ICE will detain illegal migrants arrested or charged with theft or violence. Migrant encounters declined by 93%. Yeah, and I've spoken about Doge. I'm not going to read that again, but it's massive, the savings. I mean, if government was a person, it would be this fat, bloated, overweight, huge giant. It is not necessary. When they say NESARA will do away with 90% of government, yeah, it's really going to happen. Not all going to happen overnight, but if you look at the amount of progress they've made so far, it's pretty incredible. So, guys, I have to run, but I did want to check in and bring this to you guys. So I hope you're all well. Keep your vibrations high, and I'll check in with you hopefully tomorrow on this new moon to see how we can use this opportunity to anchor in this new earth that we're busy building. So keep up the good work. I'm sending you all much love, and I'll speak to you soon.